wanted to show you today how to do a very basic swipe that I will modify through the center of this tile. And I just want to show you how to do that for those of you who are beginners and have been asking me, how to do that. So I've just got a 4" by 4" ceramic tile, which is 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. I'm just going to lay down a paint base similar to one I did the other day because I've got that paint out. And I'm just going to lay down the Eraldo Black, which I have just mixed with Australian Floetrol, just to where when drizzled back into the cup, just leaves a mound for a couple of seconds. I'm just going to spread that all over the tile. Now you can either do this spreading the paint out like this so it's thinner, or you can have a thicker puddle or cushion or pillow, I should say. Or you can have a pillow of paint in the middle that you just don't spread to the edges and it's a bit deeper if you want it to spin out more. So if you want your pattern basically to stay the same and not spread out too much, you spread your base paint. If you want your pattern to be able to spread out and get larger and larger cells, then you need to do a pillow which is deeper. Hope that makes sense. In fact, I'll do that. So this one I've done with the paint spread out, and then I'll do one the other way as well. All these paints are in the description box below. I have custom mixed these, so I'll write down in the description what they are. Absolutely lovely. I do love to mix up my own colours. So I'm just drizzling the paint through the centre here. All my colours that I've got, various shades of blue and purple. And I'm going to top this off with a little bit of gold, my Mont pouring paint gold. Not too much though, because it does go a long way. And then on top of that, I'm just going to put the Macaw, which is a little Piggy interference paint. Don't want too much, just a little bit. Okay. Right, so now I'm just going to get some of my cell activator, which is the Amsterdam Oxide Black mixed with Australian Floetrol. Just going to spread that over my spatula. It's only a thin layer. Don't want it to be too much. Just enough to cover it really. And then I'm just going to swipe it through. So this is a really good way of practicing these techniques, is using the tiles, because you can practice them and really get the feel for how to do it. I'm just going to burst those bubbles with my heat embossing tool first. Okay, now I'm going to swipe. I'm just starting here and sort of do like an S shape really. And you can see straight away those cells came up. I know a lot of people say they have trouble getting cells, but really if you just concentrate on using a good cell activator, which Amsterdam paints seem to work very well. I've only really used the Oxide Black and the white. Other paints do work as a cell activator, but you're just going to have to practice that, try that, see what works for you. But certainly the Oxide Black, I know Lamp Black is one that a lot of people use, and the Titanium White do work well, mixed with Australian Floetrol. Okay, so I'm just going to hit that with the heat embossing tool, and that will help to bring up the cells a bit bigger and also burst any bubbles. And now you can either spin that a little bit to enlarge the cells before you use your skewer to modify it, or you can modify it first. I prefer to spin first because I don't like it when my modified lines spread out and get sort of skew-whiffed. I like them to sort of stay true to shape. So I'm just going to spin this a little bit. Okay, so you'll notice the size of these cells. They haven't enlarged hugely, and that's because my base was quite shallow. So now I'm just going to draw some shape into this. As usual, make sure that you wipe off your skewer as you go. So just however you want to do it. I just sort of have a look and think, oh yeah, I'd like to drag that in that way or this way or whichever way. See how this has made this beautiful teardrop effect here? So pretty. And then you can come back the other way, come back this way here. I'm just going to bring that down. And where that's sort of smudged and hasn't created cells, it could have been where I had put too much weight on the swipe tool, and so instead of letting the cells come up, it's kind of smudged. But that in itself creates a nice pattern. As you can see, it's sort of given a kind of a ribbony effect there. Ribbony, new word. And then this guy over here, might just go like that. I've got this little patch in the middle here that's just some little cells coming up. Quite like that there. Love these. So every time you do it, you're going to get something different, and that's the beauty of it. So you can have the basic technique like it, but your colours will come up differently. What am I going to do here? Anything? Well, I just leave that like that. Bit of ghosty sort of look about it. Don't like these guys here. So if you've got some little splatters, just use the end of your skewer just to dab them out like that. Pretty much be gone. You can see this is coming up more and more now. So I'm just going to actually use a butane torch and just see what will come up, whether those cells will come up more. And it's just almost like a ghost effect there. I feel like I want to drag it in somewhere. Might actually just might want to keep it simple. So I'm just going to bring this one here, I'll start it from over here. Sort of drag that into there. So it's kind of like the tail of a comet, where it just sort of gets thinner and thinner as it goes out. I'll drag this one into here. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so that's that. I'm not going to spin that out anymore. As I say, I like to keep my recognised lines true. And now I'll do another one where I'm going to use the base deeper, and you'll see the difference, how much the cells will expand. So I'll be back in a second. Oh, before I leave, just always make sure your edges are covered. And when you put this up on a little cup to dry, make sure you wipe all the drips from underneath. Otherwise the paint will continue to be dragged off, and you'll come back later and your pattern will be totally different. So I'll just move that guy out of the way for now, and we'll come back for a close-up at the end. Just pop that one straight in the middle. Make sure I'm in the middle of my turntable. If you're not quite in the middle, when you spin out, it will spin out unevenly, which is sometimes what you want to happen, but it's not always what you want to happen. Okay, so now I'm just going to lay exactly the same base paint, but instead of spreading it out thinly, I'm just going to have it deeper. So that's a lot deeper, and now I'll just put down my colours. Load up my spatula. And I'm just going to swipe through the same way. Love looking at the spatula and what you get on there. It's beautiful. As I say, I don't like to spin out after I've done my wrecking lines because they go sort of skew-if, I think. So I'll just hit this with the heat embossing tool. And now I'm going to spin out, hopefully, because it's got the deeper base, then the spin out will make those cells stretch much more. Okay, as you can see, they are bigger. I'll give them another bit more of a spin. So I've spun that out much more, and as you can see, those cells are a lot more expanded. And I'll just make sure I put a little bit of the paint on the corners there where it didn't go all the way. Cover my sides. Same on this corner here. And the cells are much bigger. I also spun it out more, of course, because I knew I could. And so now I'm just going to draw some shape into this one. Where will I go? You always just got to look at it and work out where you want to start. I think I'll start with these guys here, bringing them in this way. Okay, so I'm just checking my edges are all good, which they nearly are. That one there just needs a bit more. Okay, so now I'll just move that over. And the other one back. So you can see with the two of them there, the one on the right here, the cells are much smaller because I did a thinner base and I didn't spin it as much. This one I did a thicker base and also, or a deeper base I should say, and I spun it more, so you can see how much larger these cells have expanded. So that's the difference between the two. And they're both two very pretty little tiles there. Like both of those a lot. So I'll bring you down for a close-up. So here's the first one, with the smaller cells, slightly smaller. Beautiful shimmery piece, lovely colours. Loving those blues and the purples and the gold and the interference there. And then this one here is the one that I used the deeper base, and I also spun it more aggressively, and you can see the cells are quite a bit bigger. Another beautiful piece though. So that's two very beautiful little coasters, and as you can see, you can really practice your techniques by doing the coasters, and it makes what I call usable art, so that then later on you can resin those, and they make lovely gifts, and or you can use them in your own home. So hopefully you enjoyed that one today, guys, and I shall see you back here in Studio 33 in the not too distant future. Until then, stay safe. Bye-bye.